Welcome back to Hexes, Haunts, and Howls. I'm your host, Cupcake. Today is episode 11 of A through Z of Haunted America, a series where we explore the strange, eerie, and mysterious corners of America. You're hiking alone through the dense forests of Big Island. The sun has long disappeared behind the canopy. The mist curls around the trees like restless spirits. The path ahead is narrow, slick with dew, and every step feels louder than it should. Then you hear it, a faint drumming, steady, rhythmic, echoing through the fog. It doesn't sound human. It carries a strange, familiar feeling, like a call you should recognize, but can't. You pause. The forest falls silent, then whispers. Soft at first, almost drowned by the wind. Then clearer. A voice, speaking in a tongue you do not know. Your heart pounds. You call out. But there's no answer. Just the drumbeat and whispers, growing closer, surrounding you. You turn, and for a fleeting moment, you see shadows moving through the trees, too fast to be human, too deliberate to be the wind. When you blink, they're gone, and the forest returns to its ordinary stillness. The mist curls around your ankles. Your pulse slowly calms, but deep down, you know something unseen followed you. It's watching and waiting. Tonight, on A through Z of Haunted America, we uncover the spirits of warriors, the wrath of volcano gods, and the secrets the islands may never reveal. Before we dive into Hawaii's haunted places, it's important to understand the islands themselves, not just their landscapes, but the spirits that have walked them long before modern visitors arrived. Ancient Hawaiians believed that every person, every animal, and even elements of the land carried a spirit. To this world view were the Aumakua, ancestral guardians. These were spirits of your own ancestors, taking the forms of animals, plants, or even natural phenomena. They could protect, guide, and sometimes warn, but they could also punish those who disrespect the land or ignore tradition. The islands were alive in a way that outsiders rarely understood. Volcanoes weren't just molten rock. They were home to Pele, the goddess of fire and creation, whose anger and sorrow could shape the land itself. Forests, rivers, and cliffs weren't just scenery. They were vessels of memory, haunted by spirits of those who came before. When Western colonizers and missionaries arrived, they brought new religions, new laws, and new ways of thinking. Many traditional stories were dismissed, rewritten, or erased. Yet these warnings from the past did not disappear. Some say the old spirits, the guardians, they still linger, watching over sacred sites, whispering in the wind, themselves in moments when the land feels alive with memory. Tonight, as we explore Hawaii's most haunted places, remember, the islands are not silent. Every shadow, every echo, may carry the weight of centuries, and the spirits of those who never left. Hawaii is a land where the past never truly lets go. Its beauty, lush forests, jagged cliffs, and endless ocean holds more than just breathtaking views. It holds echoes, shadows, and whispers of lives long gone. Let's begin in Oahu, Kailani Palace. Once the royal residence of Hawaii's monarchy, it's now a museum, but at night it is said that the palace never truly sleeps. Visitors and staff alike have reported glimpses of figures in regal attire gliding silently through the halls. Some hear the soft shuffle of slippers on polished floors when no one else is around. A woman cleaning late one evening said she saw a man in a dark uniform standing at the top of a grand staircase, watching her, only to vanish when she called out. The palace may be a museum, but the spirits of royalty are said to still walk its corridors. It whispers of a time when the crown was alive with power and intrigue. Moving out to the coast, there's Chinaman's Hat, or Mukuliki. This small island off Oahu's windward shore is beautiful, but locals warned that it is guarded by vengeful spirits. Legends speak of those who trespass, disrespect the land, or remove even a single stone, only to find themselves followed by eerie shadows or hearing strange, distant cries across the water. Some fishermen report boats being mysteriously rocked in the calmest seas, and footsteps echoing along rocks when no one else is near. The spirits here are said to protect what was theirs long before outsiders arrived. Then there's Pali Highway, a road winding through cliffs and dense foliage, infamous for more than just its scenic beauty. Drivers tell of stories of phantom hitchhikers, a woman in white who vanishes the moment you slow to help, or a man standing by the guardrails only to disappear when you swerve past. At night, mist rolls in unexpectedly, swallowing headlights, and some swear they see figures crossing in the fog, only to find no footprints or tire marks behind them. Locals whisper that the road is haunted by travelers who met tragic ends, their souls unable to move on. And finally, the coastlines of Hilo and Kona, where the oceans meet cliffs and the wind carries secrets from afar. Fishermen tell of ghostly sailors who appear in small boats, silently rowing under moonlight, only to vanish when approached. Some hear cries and laughter over waves that are otherwise empty. Others claim to see lanterns bobbing in the surf, marking the spirits of those lost at sea. The ocean remembers, and sometimes it calls out to those who walk too close to the edge. These are not just stories. These are warnings, echoes, and glimpses of a past that refuses to rest. Here in Hawaii, the veil between the living and the dead is thinner, and every mist, every shadow, may conceal a spirit still wandering, still watching, still waiting. Out of all the spirits said to roam Hawaii, none inspire more awe or more fear than Pele, the goddess of volcanoes. She is a deity of creation and destruction, her power shaping the islands themselves. To Hawaiians, Pele is more than a legend. She is a living presence, her anger and sorrow woven into the land, her footprints traced in lava flows that still glow in the night. Stories tell of travelers who ignored the sacredness of the land, too close to Kilauea and its surrounding forests. Some returned shaken, claiming that the earth itself seemed to move beneath their feet. that shadows darted across lava fields, too quick to be human. Others report whispers on the wind, voices warning, pleading, or sometimes laughing, in a way that chills the blood. There are accounts of unexplained eruptions that coincide with trespassers, flames bursting from the earth as though the goddess herself was correcting an imbalance. One story, a small group camping near a lava tube woke to hear chanting, distant yet unmistakably deliberate. When they investigated, they found nothing except the scorched earth of a new lava flow, which had appeared overnight. But Pele is not simply vengeful. Many who respect her laws, who honor the land and the traditions of the islands, speak of her as protective and even benevolent. Travelers guided safely through misty lava fields, fishermen who found sunken luck at sea after offering prayers, and hikers who report feeling a warm presence, comforting and alive, even in the dead of night. The moral here is clear. In Hawaii, the supernatural is inseparable from the land itself. Disrespect can be dangerous, but reverence may bring guidance. Pele is a reminder that the islands are not ours to conquer. They are ours to honor. And as we continue through Hawaii's haunted landscapes, remember that some of its greatest mysteries are not hidden in the shadows, but in the very earth beneath our feet. Hawaii's history is not only shaped by gods and spirits, it is also etched with human conflict, loss, and tragedy. Perhaps no place embodies this duality more than Pearl Harbor. On December 5th, 1941, lives were lost in an instant, and for many, the past never let go. Today, visitors and military personnel alike tell of ghostly soldiers in old uniforms, figures standing at attention along the docks, patrolling hallways, or marching silently across the grounds. Some hear the distant echoes of battle, the crack of rifles, the roar of explosions, and the commands of officers in the night air. One security guard reported footsteps following him down a corridor, only to vanish when he turned. Another described seeing a small group of sailors reenacting the chaos of that day, as if caught in an endless loop of history. Beyond Pearl Harbor, abandoned military installations across the islands hold their own dark echoes. Fort Ruger, once a bustling coastal dense post, now stands in ruins, but locals speak of shadowy figures moving through the crumbling walls, lights flickering without explanation, and the sensation of being fouled. Former soldiers and explorers claim to hear murmurs of past conversations and the distant hum of machinery long since dismantled. These hauntings are not mere stories. They are tied to a historical trauma. The islands were a strategic military hub, and countless lives passed through here, many under extreme stress or danger. Death and loss left an imprint, and some say it lingers still, invisible yet present. Those who report encounters often speak of a heavy atmosphere, a feeling of time overlapping with the present, and a stark reminder that the dead are not always gone. In Hawaii, the military history intertwines with the supernatural. These are not just spirits of the past. These are reminders of the cost of war and the lives that history almost forgot. Walking among these sites, some feel the weight of thousands of stories, all whispering through the night, asking only to be remembered. Hawaii's forests, cliffs, and remote valleys are not just home to plants and wildlife. They are said to shelter creatures that defy explanation. For centuries, the island's folklore has spoken of beings that move unseen, creatures that appear at night, and mysterious builders who leave evidence without ever being seen. One of the most enduring legends is that of the menehune. These tiny, elusive people are said to rise under the cover of darkness, constructing stone walls, fish ponds, and other structures with extraordinary speed and precision, sometimes overnight. Ancient stories depict them as skilled craftsmen, protective of their work, and weary of humans who might disturb their creations. Even today, local whispers about unusual stonework in remote valleys, built too perfectly to be mere coincidence. Some say the menehune are still here, watching, working silently, waiting until the island sleeps. But the menehune are not the only mysterious beings being reported. Hikers, campers, and residents occasionally describe large, ape-like figures moving through dense forests, bodies covered in dark hair, eyes that gleam in the moonlight, and movements too quick and silent to be human. Others have seen glowing lights hovering behind trees or over cliffs, moving with intention, vanishing when approached. Some interpret these as spirits, others as cryptids, and some as unexplained phenomena connected to the island's natural energy. Hawaiian folklore is fluid, shaped by generations of oral storytelling. What begins as a myth can evolve over time, merging with modern interpretations. Today, some scientists dismiss these sightings as misidentified wildlife or optical illusions. But those who have experienced them firsthand swear they are real. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between, a blending of cultural memory, natural wonder, and phenomena science cannot yet explain. As we journey deeper into Hawaii's haunted landscapes, remember that the unseen may be closer than we think. The islands hold more than just spirits of the past. They harbor beings that blur the line between legend and reality, waiting for those who wander too far off the beaten path. Beneath the beauty of Hawaii, the beaches, the cliffs, the misty forests, there are whispers of secrets the island were never meant to reveal. Some of these secrets are not just supernatural, they are human-made, hidden in plain sight, buried beneath layers of classified history. During the Cold War, remote islands and volcanic regions across Hawaii were allegedly used for secret military experiments, missile tests, chemical experiments, and radar operations took place far from prying eyes. Most of the public never knew. Official records remain sparse or heavily redacted. But locals remember strange occurrences, unexpected illnesses, sudden disappearances, and unexplainable phenomena coinciding with these operations. Fishermen reported lights in the sky, unexplained explosions in the water, and equipment that malfunctioned in impossible ways. Some claim that these covert activities left a lingering mark, not only on the land, but on the people who lived near it. Others suggest that the military's presence disturbed energies that had existed for centuries, stirring the supernatural in unexpected ways. Could the ghostly apparitions, strange lights, and cryptid sightings reported across the islands be linked to these secret tests? Some locals are convinced they are. This conspiracy isn't just about hidden operations or experiments. It's about the tension between the natural, spiritual world of Hawaii and the intrusion of human ambition. The islands may be guarding both their ancient spirits and the traces of Cold War secrets, creating a layered mystery that's still active today. The truth is, no one knows the full story. Files were classified, histories rewritten, witnesses silenced, and yet the land remembers. And sometimes the land whispers through shadows, strange lights, or encounters that defy explanation. In Hawaii, the supernatural and the human-made collide in ways that leave even the most skeptical wondering what really lies beneath the surface. Hawaii draws millions of visitors every year, seeking sun, surf, and relaxation. But beneath the postcard perfect beaches and luxury resorts, some guests encounter experiences that cannot be explained by vacation brochures or hotel pamphlets. Several hotels and resorts across the islands are said to be haunted. Guests have reported doors opening and closing on their own, footsteps echoing down empty hallways, and furniture moving unexpectedly. Security cameras sometimes capture fleeting shadows or objects appearing in frames where no one is standing. Staff members often speak quietly of rooms that feel heavy, as though the weight of the past lingers. Even tourist sites, once battlegrounds, sacred grounds, or ancient villages, carry a subtle energy. Visitors have described cold spots, faint whispers, and the sensation of being watched. Some swear they've seen figures in traditional dresses moving across the ground where no one should be present. These experiences are not just spooky stories. These are reminders that Hawaii's spiritual history is still very much alive. Yet it's important to remember that many of these hauntings are deeply intertwined with Hawaiian beliefs. Spirits, ancestral guardians, and deities are respected by locals, and disturbing them, even unknowingly, can invite misfortune. Paranormal encounters often follow patterns, places of reverence, sites of tragedy, in locations where the natural and supernatural meet. Modern tourism has amplified these stories. Cameras, smartphones, and social media have given a new platform to document strange phenomena. Travelers share photographs of orbs in the forest, shadows along lava cliffs, or figures at sunset that vanish when approached. But for many locals, these reports are less about spectacle and more about honoring what still exists unseen. The spirits, the guardians, and the ancient energy that shaped these islands long before resorts and souvenir shops. In Hawaii, even modern life cannot escape the island's past. For visitors who stumble across it, the line between vacation and the supernatural can blur in ways both beautiful and unsettling. Amid the legends, spirits, and unexplained phenomena, Hawaii's hauntings are most powerful when they touch real people, when the stories are not just about places, but about those who have felt the presence of the unseen. As we draw this journey to a close, it's worth stepping back and looking at the islands as more than just a collection of haunted sites or eerie stories. Hawaii is a place where spirituality, history, and nature intersect in both beautiful and unsettling ways. Its land holds the memory of warriors, gods, and everyday people whose lives and deaths have left traces still felt today. The ghosts of the past are entwined with the island's natural power. The rumble of the volcanoes, the crashing of the waves, and the rustle of forests that seem alive with watchful eyes. Colonization, war, and human ambition left scars, yet the old spirits persist, reminding us that the land is not simply a backdrop, but a participant in its own story. Some visitors see Hawaii only as paradise, but to those who listen, who wander, and who pay attention, the island speaks in whispers and shadows. They hold their mysteries close, and some say they will never let them go. If you've experienced something strange, unexplainable, or deeply unsettling in your travels, consider sharing it with us. Your story could be featured in a future episode. You can submit your stories to hexes, haunts, and howls at gmail.com. Again, that's hexes, haunts, and howls, all one word, at gmail.com. All stories will remain anonymous. Until next time, remember, some secrets aren't meant to be uncovered, but some will follow you home. Thank you for listening to Hexes, Haunts, and Howls. I'm your host, Cupcake. Until next time, stay sweet.